14 people were injured, 3 seriously, after a freight train collided with a Murmansk St. Petersburg passenger train in Russia's Murmansk region, according to the Russian Ministry of Emergency Situations. The Northwestern Transport Prosecutor's Office shared video of derailed train carriages. The regional governor Andrei Chibis interrupted a business trip to Moscow and is returning to the Murmansk region. In a video, Chibis said rescuers and medical workers were providing all necessary assistance on the spot. Russian news agency TASS quoted the Russian railways as saying the passenger train had 326 people on board and that the regional emergency services reported at least 1 casualty. A criminal case has been opened on violation of traffic safety rules and the operation of railway transport. The emergency services reported that the cause of the disaster could have been a malfunction of the freight train.
Работает оперативный штаб, спасатели, медицинские работники оказывают на месте всю необходимую помощь. К сожалению, есть пострадавшие, вся помощь необходимая оказывается. За пассажирами выехали автобусы, места размещения также подготовлены для того, чтобы их забрать с этого участка железной дороги и разместить и обогреть. Вылетает вертолет медицинных катастроф, ситуация находится на контроле.
The Houthis have escalated their attacks on Israel after a truce was announced in Lebanon, the Yemen-based rebel group Ansar Allah told Russian media outlet Izvestia. According to the group, these actions aim to fill the void left after Hezbollah halted its shelling of Israel. A few days ago, US naval vessels were targeted with missiles and drones, the Houthis claimed. The group also called on Syria's new leadership to join forces against Israel. Israel is preparing for a military offensive against Yemen's Houthi group in response to continued missile and drone attacks, the Israeli Public Broadcasting Corporation said. The announcement came after Israel intercepted a ballistic missile and a drone launched by the Houthis. The Houthis have launched 6 drones and 2 ballistic missiles toward Israel in the past week alone, officials said. However, the decision to initiate an attack is awaiting approval from the Israeli leadership. The Israeli army stressed the importance of addressing the threat from Yemen. Houthis claim responsibility for a hypersonic ballistic missile attack on the military target in Jaffa, a city in central Israel. Yemeni political analyst Sand al-Sayadi explained to Izvestia that the ongoing Houthi campaign, particularly amid the recent turmoil in Syria, demonstrates the ambitions of their military and political leaders to bring the Gaza conflict back to the forefront of international attention. They are signaling to both regional and global players that, despite mounting pressures, Yemen retains the ability to shift the balance of power in the Middle East and ensure that Israel will not face Gaza alone, the expert noted. In recent weeks, there has been increased diplomatic activity focused on brokering a ceasefire in Gaza, even as Houthi attacks intensify. The Palestinian radical group Hamas recently received a new ceasefire proposal from Egypt, including terms for the release of hostages held in Gaza. Hamas's representative in Lebanon, Ahmed Abd al-Hadi, told Izvestia. For the first time, Hamas has indicated it might accept a pact allowing Israeli forces to temporarily remain in Gaza after hostilities end, the Wall Street Journal reported. The proposed agreement covers the Philadelphia corridor, which lies between Egypt and Gaza, and the Netzarim corridor within Gaza. There is no need for Israeli troops to occupy the Philadelphia corridor, as this offers minimal strategic or security benefits for Israel, Egyptian international relations expert Tarek al-Badisi told. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu appears intent on undermining a deal that could facilitate a ceasefire, al-Badisi concluded. The Houthis, who control large areas of Yemen, including the capital Sana'a, and present themselves as the country's official armed forces, pledged to continue their attacks on Israel until the end of the war on Gaza. The mobilization hole of the Russian army is being filled with 10 to 12,000 North Korean soldiers for less than 2 weeks. This was stated by the head of the security programs at the Center for Globalistics Strategy 21 of Ukraine, Pavel Lakichuk, on the air of the Hromadski radio. According to him, if we count the losses of the Russian Federation, then per day in the war against Ukraine, the Russians lose from 1,000 to 2,000 personnel. Therefore, accordingly, 10 to 12,000 DPRK troops cover this mobilization need for less than 14 days. Strategically, the number of DPRK troops who are now fighting against Ukraine will not change the situation, he emphasized. In turn, if we consider this number of North Korean fighters as a trial step, then in the event of success, which the leader of the DPRK, Kim Jong-un, may see, there may be an increase in the participation of North Korean troops in the war against Ukraine, the expert believes. Russia has begun using North Korean soldiers in battles in the Kursk region. They have already suffered losses, stated President Volodymyr Zelensky. According to Zelensky, he heard a report from Commander-in-Chief Alexander Syrsky regarding the situation at the front, particularly in the Donetsk region. They also discussed the situation in the areas of the Kursk operation. Syrsky reported on the participation of North Korean soldiers in battles on the side of the Russian army. The president noted that there are already many details about the destruction of these forces. According to preliminary data, Russia is trying to conceal North Korean losses. Currently, the Ukrainian Defense Forces and intelligence are finding out full information about the real losses of Russian units, which also involved North Koreans. Unfortunately, we have to defend against them too, though there is no reason for Koreans to die in this war. The only reason is Putin's madness, which has engulfed Russia and fuels this war. We will continue to defend our positions, Zelensky said. After suffering losses during assaults in Kursk, DPRK army units are being reinforced with fresh personnel to sustain active combat operations. This information was reported by Ukraine's main intelligence directorate. According to the report, on December the 14th and 15th in the areas of Plekovo, Vorosba and Martinovka in the Kursk region of Russia, DPRK army units lost at least 30 soldiers, either killed or wounded. Additionally, Ukraine's main intelligence directorate stated that at least 3 North Korean servicemen went missing near the village of Kurilovka. To compensate for these losses, assault groups are being replenished with fresh personnel, particularly from the DPRK Army's 94th Separate Brigade, to continue active combat operations in Kursk, the intelligence agency noted.